Imagine you're walking down the street and two little girls, no older than 7, tug on your sleeve. In their tiny hands is a crumpled letter, the words smudged with tears. "Please, sir, can you read this letter? It's for someone very important." What would you do? Would you just walk away, or would you stop and listen? Because that single moment, reading that letter, set into motion a chain of events that turned a broken veteran, a pair of desperate twins, and a heart-wrenching secret into a story of rescue, redemption, and unimaginable transformation. The rain had just started to fall when Jake Morgan, a decorated war veteran now struggling as a single father, walked home from yet another rejection at a job interview. His back ached from years of service, and his heart carried scars far deeper than the ones on his body. Life after deployment hadn't been kind. Bills stacked on the kitchen counter, the fridge was often half empty, and though he carried himself with strength for his twin daughters, Emma and Lily, inside, he was drowning. Emma and Lily were his everything. 7 years old, identical in face but different in spirit, Emma bold, Lily shy, they had inherited their mother's bright eyes and Jake's stubborn will. Their mother had passed away during childbirth, leaving Jake with 2 tiny infants in his arms and a life forever altered. He had promised, whispered to them in the quiet hospital room, that he would never let them feel unloved or alone. But keeping that promise had cost him nearly everything. One evening, as Jake returned home late from the gas station where he worked extra shifts, he found Emma and Lily sitting at the kitchen table, paper and crayons scattered everywhere. They were whispering, writing, erasing, and writing again. "What are you two up to?" Jake asked with a tired smile. Emma hid the paper quickly. "It's a surprise, Daddy." What he didn't know was that his daughters were writing a letter. They had seen him struggling, had overheard his quiet cries at night when he thought they were asleep, and they decided to do something about it. To them, their father was a hero, but heroes shouldn't hurt alone. Days later, Jake took them to the park. It was there, under the grey sky, that the girls spotted a tall, well-dressed man sitting alone on a bench, scrolling through his phone. They clutched their folded letter tightly, and with the courage only children can muster, they approached him. "Excuse me, sir," Emma began, her voice trembling but determined. "Can you read this letter? It's very important." The man looked down, puzzled. He saw 2 rain-soaked little girls, their eyes pleading. He took the letter, carefully unfolding the paper wrinkled by tiny hands, and as he began to read, his world shifted. The letter wasn't for him, not directly. It was a heartfelt plea, written in childish handwriting, asking for help for their father. It spoke of a man who had served his country bravely, who worked tirelessly to care for them, who gave everything but received so little in return. "Our daddy is a hero," the letter said, "but heroes need saving too. If you are someone important, please rescue him." The man's throat tightened as he finished. He asked, "Who's your daddy?" Emma pointed across the park where Jake was sitting, unaware, tired eyes watching from the distance. What the twins didn't know was that the man reading the letter wasn't just anyone. His name was Daniel Grayson, a billionaire entrepreneur, a man who had everything money could buy but carried emptiness in his chest. He had no family, no children, only success stacked high like towers around him. Yet, at that moment, holding the letter of 2 desperate little girls, he felt something stir inside him. He looked at Jake, then back at the girls, and for the first time in years, Daniel felt the weight of responsibility not for his empire, but for a stranger. Daniel Grayson couldn't shake the letter from his mind. That night, he sat in his mansion surrounded by wealth, but felt hollow. The words, "Heroes need saving too," echoed in his heart. He decided to find Jake. The next day, Daniel appeared at the modest house where Jake and his daughters lived. Jake was startled, wary of strangers, but Daniel introduced himself gently and explained how he had met the twins. Embarrassment and pride clashed in Jake's eyes. He didn't want charity. "I don't need saving," he insisted. But Daniel saw through him. He saw the weary eyes of a man who had given everything and received little. He saw the cracks hidden under layers of pride, and he saw the girls, bright, hopeful, and utterly devoted to their father. Over the next weeks, Daniel began spending time with the family. At first, Jake resisted, suspicious of Daniel's motives, but soon Daniel's sincerity showed. He wasn't there to pity them, he was there to honor them. He admired Jake's integrity, his resilience, and the quiet love he poured into Emma and Lily. Daniel offered Jake a job, not a handout, but an opportunity. Jake became part of Daniel's security team, where his military skills were valued and respected. Slowly, the financial struggles eased, but more than that, a bond formed. The twins grew to love Daniel like an uncle. For the first time, Daniel felt what it meant to be part of a family. He joined them for dinners, listened to Emma's bold stories and Lily's soft songs, and even helped with school projects. He wasn't just a billionaire anymore, he was human again. But the true turning point came one night when Jake sat across from Daniel. "I don't know why you chose to help us," Jake said quietly, "but I'll never forget it. My daughters, they saved me, and maybe in some way they saved you too." Daniel smiled, his eyes misty. "They did, and so did you." Years later, the story of two little girls with a letter spread far and wide. How they reached out with innocence and courage, and how their words rescued not just their father, but also a man who had everything yet nothing. By the end, Jake had rebuilt his life with dignity. Daniel found the family he never had, and Emma and Lily, they proved that sometimes the smallest voices can create the biggest miracles. So the next time a stranger asks, "Can you read this?" turn away, because inside it might be the very words that change your life forever.